As you may know by now, volleyball is a sport that really needs space. For me to be able to train at home with this pandemic, I needed at the very least a wall for me to be able to do a couple of movements in order to not be so dry for my return to the court. Even though on 2020 it seemed like very far away, in 2021 I have had more experiences with tournaments, with trainings and everything. But going back to that part of the pandemic where I wasn't able to go out and I needed to be able to at least touch the ball in a certain way, I needed a wall. Let's start by that. All the walls in my garden lead to another house. Like here's a wall, and right next to it is the other house. Here's another wall, and right next to it, another house. One of my neighbors once tapped the wall in anger, like 10 times. Like one time wasn't enough. They needed, because I don't know if it was a woman or a man, they needed to tap the wall 10 times in anger in order for me to shut up with the ball. But you may think, what about school trainings? Weren't you in the schools team and everything? Yeah, they were still going on, but it was not the same. Like I said, the walls in my garden lead to other houses, so I knew I wasn't able to train there. Okay, the garage. In order for me to train at least once a week, they had to take off all of the cars because, yeah, that's what a garage is for the cars to be there. But they would have to take out all of the cars for me to be able to train there. And once again, the walls. The walls in the garage are low, so the ball could easily get lost if I threw it a little too high. Nothing wasn't my favorite, if you see that. So I stopped doing the training because to me it wasn't really a training because we were doing the same exercises over and over again. I know we were limited because of space, but it became a little more of a routine rather than an actual training. So I stopped joining the class. I said no more, and yeah, since that day I haven't joined any more of the trainings. Besides, schoolwork is already heavy. I couldn't find the time to stop doing homework and enjoy at least 1 hour of training. It was too difficult for me. There were no signs of a new tournament for my team. Even though we had like a Christmas tournament because it only lasted for December, we were able to train only for like a month or half a month before that. So we knew we weren't like exactly ready because normally before a tournament we would train like at least 2 months before it, but we were only able to train like a month or half a month before it. But we did what we could. And until they announced the beginning of a new tournament, and actually like the long one, which tends to last like 2 months and a half, we decided to sign up and we started with the harder trainings once again. I'm talking about 2021 because 2020 everything was closed, everything was quite impossible for us to keep up training. But now we are going to Campo Marte every week, so it has been easier for us, to be honest. It was difficult and still is because the trainings are still going on. We just finished the tournament 2 weeks ago, and maybe like next week or the other week the new tournament is going to start. So we are still training, and it has been hard because it starts at 7 a.m. and my parents will never want to take me. That's something I talked about in my previous blog. My captain is constantly mad at me because I only go to 1 or 2 trainings at the very luck per month, and they train every Saturday and Sunday. You see teammates training with a mask on, breathless and more tired than us. I had training yesterday, and I was actually worried for one of my teammates because she's one of the few girls that trains with the mask on, and you would see her all breathless under the sun. It's very difficult to play a sport with a mask on. But one thing about this pandemic is that it has allowed us to have more time to focus on new techniques, to develop trust between each other, because due to the pandemic we had to pull like more players because the ones from the regional team weren't able to play because of this pandemic. So we have been able to develop trust between each other because we have actually like paid more attention to these trainings, and I feel like we are tighter than we were before. And it is amazing to see how many of us and from other teams too were devoted to play. We would keep up with the safety protocols and all. You would rarely see someone who like wanted to take their mask off even though it was not permitted. We were all very like responsible for each other and for ourselves. And well, since this is the last vlog, I just wanted to thank you for coming along in this journey with me. I've been able to take you inside of my mind as an athlete the best I can. There's a lot more to talk about, but this is like the most important part for me. This is the most important info I can give you. Like I said, I was able to take you through my mind as the athlete Paulina, because being stuck at home makes me the boring Paulina, drowning herself in schoolwork, just exercising and then going back to that cycle where I would just wake up during classes, exercise, eat, continue with homework, take a shower, sleep, and then all that once again. But when I was finally able, and when I'm still able to go back to the court, it is a different me. I feel more athletic, I feel different. I am number 9 in the court, and that is like my second home. So thank you for joining me.